See you on the 7th.
I can't wait for National Acorn Squash Day either. MMMM.
Hello everybody, this is Jared the Geek, and I'm here to talk to you guys about the Apple event that is going on September 7th. So we just got the media/press invites today, and they look like this. As you can see here, the bokeh dots right here, these colorful bokeh type dots, form the Apple logo, and it looks really cool. I really like the way that looks, and it also says on the bottom there, see you on the 7th. So, of course, if you have not figured it out already, the 7th seems like a subtle nod to the fact that it is the iPhone 7, and the bokeh dots, as others have pointed out across the web, seem to be a nod to the dual lens sensor that is supposedly coming to the iPhone 7 Plus based on the myriad of leaks and prototypes and clones and all that stuff that's been floating around the web since like basically all summer. So now the time has finally come for us to see it officially revealed on stage by Tim Cook himself. So what should we expect from this event besides new iPhones? What else is going to be there? Well, I'm going to talk to you guys about it in this video. So first off, obviously, the iPhone 7 is the biggest part of this event, or the biggest anticipated device from this event. Anticipation, excitement for this iPhone is not quite as huge as it was for the iPhone 6 or even 6S. The iPhone 6S was more of an incremental upgrade, but there was still some cool stuff with it, like the 4K video and the 3D touch, that sort of stuff. But the iPhone 7 is rumored to not change a ton, and because of that, it's gotten sort of a negative reception in at least the tech world across the web and stuff like that, as you may have heard. So the biggest feature or non-feature that has been talked about the iPhone 7 is the fact that it is going to be removing the 3.5mm headphone jack that you see right there on the iPhone 6. It is supposedly being removed, and most likely it will be, based on the many leaks that we have seen and schematics, models, all that stuff. The headphone jack is gone, and in its place is an extra speaker grill. So hopefully we'll be getting some stereo speakers for the iPhone 7. You'll have to use the Lightning port, which is also used for charging, as your headphone port, or of course use a nice pair of Bluetooth headphones like I have here. These work really great. So honestly, to me, it's not that big of a deal. The only problem I could see is maybe if you're like on a car ride and you need to use the auxiliary input of your car and maybe charge at the same time, may have to get an extra dongle for that, but ultimately it's not that big of a deal. I really don't think it's going to be that much of a problem for me personally, but for you it could pose an issue. So that's the biggest thing to know about the iPhone 7, the biggest thing that people have been talking about. But obviously there's a lot more that's going to go into the iPhone 7. The design overall is going to be tweaked, I would say. It's not going to be totally overhauled. If you look at the iPhone 6 here, you can see that it has a nice smooth aluminum back, but it has these antenna lines that go through it, as many of you already know about the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, or 6S and 6S Plus. And so what Apple is doing is removing the antenna lines that run through the back, and they're going to keep them only at the top. So it gives it a nice, cleaner look. And also based on leaks and rumors, there is a bigger camera sensor on both. The 7 Plus is going to get a cool dual lens camera sensor, so we don't really know exactly what that will mean, if it will unlock a ton of new functionality or just provide a lot better image quality. But either way, it should be a really cool feature, and ultimately it should just lead to a really good camera sensor on the larger 5.5-inch model. But the 4.7-inch model is also getting a much larger sensor compared to what the 6S has now, and I don't know if we're going to see a megapixel bump. We already saw that last year, so I doubt that they're going to increase it again this year, but overall the camera quality should be a lot better on these new iPhones. Now, the other thing we always see on new iPhones is, of course, a speed bump, and these iPhones are expected to get the A10 chip. The 6S and 6S Plus have the A9 chip, so this is expected to get the A10 chip. We always increase by number every single year, so that should be expected, obviously, to be a lot faster, as it usually is. That's something you can always expect with the newer iPhones. So cameras, speed, no headphone jack, and that refined design. As I said, everything's pretty much going to be the same in terms of thickness and weight. It should be about the same. The only thing that's going to look different is the camera is going to be different, obviously, and the antenna bands are going to be removed. So it's going to look a little bit more refined. The front should be about the same. They were saying this front speaker grill may be slightly longer The camera should be in the same place and proximity sensor. So overall, it's going to probably look the same. We could actually see a new color. Deep blue has been a color that has been rumored. I'm not sure if we're going to see that. Space black has also been rumored as well. There were rumors that were saying the space black was going to be, or the space gray that I have here was going to be replaced by deep blue. But then rumors came out that said the space black is going to happen. So we don't really know, but chances are we're probably going to see at least one new color, so that could be either space black or deep blue, maybe both, but we'll see what materializes there, as a new color always garners quite a bit of interest around the new iPhone. Even though it's just a new color, customers really like that. And finally, another feature we could see is the addition of waterproofing. So we've seen waterproofing on various Android phones that have been around these past couple of years, and the Apple Watch has waterproofing of its own. It can go in about 3 feet or so of water for 30 minutes. So they call it water resistant. It's not really waterproof. You're not really supposed to go in water with it, although many people do go in water regularly with the Apple Watch without any problems. So honestly, this would probably just be like a precautionary thing, like if you were to drop your phone in the rain or in a puddle, that kind of thing, you wouldn't have to worry about it. But it's not like you're going to be able to use it in the pool or anything like that. That's pretty much it for the iPhone 7. As I said, not a ton changed, but there could be some stuff that Apple could surprise us with. For example, one thing that hasn't shown up in rumors but wouldn't really show up in rumors is the addition of a better screen. So we could see like an OLED screen, even though that's probably happening next year, not this year. We could see double the resolution or something, and we really wouldn't know if the resolution was doubled based on the leaks, because the leaks aren't fully assembled units really. So we could be in for a big screen upgrade or not. We don't really know based on the leaks, but chances are this upgrade is going to be more incremental, coming from the 6S to the 7. But if you're coming from an iPhone 6, this actually could be a potentially big upgrade. Like, I'm going from this iPhone 6, and I'm very excited about this upgrade because I'm going to be getting all the features of the 6S and then all the features of the iPhone 7. So it kind of depends on which phone you're coming from. Either way, I think this will be a solid iPhone. It's not as exciting or shiny and new as the other previous iPhone launches have been, but I still think this is going to be a pretty exciting launch and should garner a lot of interest, as iPhone launches always do. So in addition to the new iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, what else should we see from this event? Well, in terms of hardware, we should see a new Apple Watch 2, as well as the addition of a new iPad Pro, possibly a new iPad Mini, and possibly a new MacBook Pro. So let's talk about the iPads first. The iPad Pro 12.9-inch was released last year at Apple's September event, and typically in the years past, the years before that, like 2012, 2013, and 2014, Apple reserved a separate event for Mac and iPad updates, but last year they kind of did it differently. They did March and September events instead of September and October events. So last year we kind of saw the iPad and the iPhone all kind of bundled into one event. So I expect to see the same thing this year. We will probably see iPad updates in addition to Apple Watch and possibly Mac updates all in one big, massive September event, which is happening on the 7th. So the iPad Pro 12.9-inch is due for an update to get it caught up with the features that the iPad Pro 9.7-inch has. So the iPad Pro 9.7 has a much better camera with 4K video and just a lot better quality than the 12.9-inch does now. It also has a higher quality screen with that True Tone feature, which adapts the color temperature of the display based on the light, the ambient light of the room that you're in. So I expect those features that are now available on the 9.7-inch Pro to be added to the 12.9-inch Pro so that they are more in parity there. The Mini could also get an upgrade, although that seems to be more of a product that Apple seems to be almost maybe kind of phasing out due to the fact that it is kind of very close in size to the 5.5-inch iPhone Plus a size model, which is just very popular. So 7.9-inch tablets aren't extremely popular right now, so I could see Apple just kind of leaving that behind and not really updating it too much. But you don't know, we could actually see an iPad Mini Pro where they add it to the Pro lineup, and just with that 7.9-inch screen size, they keep that in the Pro lineup, or you could just see some minor upgrades on the Mini side. There hasn't been too many rumors on that, so we'll have to wait and see what Apple decides to do with the future of the Mini lineup. Now, the Apple Watch was first unveiled in September of 2014, so 2 years ago, and it was actually released in April 2015, so it actually is getting slightly old, and it is due for a refresh. So the biggest thing that is expected to be changed with the the Apple Watch 2 is the addition of a GPS unit inside this little wristwatch device. So a GPS would allow you to actually go for a run or a walk or a bike ride or something like that and track the length and distance of the workout more accurately without having to bring your phone along. So this would be a really cool feature for people who use their watch for exercising and workouts and stuff like that. And overall, it's just a good thing to have on the Apple Watch going forward. So that's expected to be added. It's also expected to get a speed increase, and that is one of the biggest complaints about the Apple Watch is it does get a little slow when opening apps. This has been fixed somewhat with Watch OS 3. It stores like 10 of your favorite apps in memory. So they do launch a lot quicker with that, but it's only 10 of them, and overall the watch could just use a bit more smoothness because it does feel a little laggy and slow and old at times. So that would be cool to have. Another thing we are expected to see with this Apple Watch 2 is a bigger battery. There was actually just a battery leak for the 42mm Apple Watch just yesterday. This leaked battery was claiming to have a higher capacity to deal with the GPS unit, so that'd be good. Possibly get more battery, or this could just be to compensate for the extra power that the GPS will be using. So that's good to know that we won't lose any power because of a GPS. And we also should see some better waterproofing, and this is a really exciting feature for me because I do like wearing my watch all the time. So if I could wear it in the pool or at the beach, that'd be great for it to be a little bit more waterproof. A lot of people I know actually do use it in the pool or the shower or that kind of stuff, but it would be nice to have it officially be able to handle those things so you could just take it in the water and not have to worry about it. And lastly, moving to the Mac side of things, the MacBook Pro is expected to receive a big update at this September event. This is a update that a lot of people in the Mac world, a lot of Mac fans, are really excited about. So the 2015 MacBook Pros are actually really good machines. They're not that old. They were released in March of 2015, so old in computer terms, but they're still really good machines. However, this design has been used for a while now. It's coming up on like over 4 years, so I can see why people are excited for a design change. Now, most likely the design is going to stay pretty similar. They're just going to be slimmed down just a little bit, and in terms of I/O, we're going to get some USB-C and Thunderbolt 3 ports. So overall, the design should be pretty similar, just going to be slimmed down with some new ports added. The coolest feature that we're going to see on this new MacBook Pro is the addition of an OLED touch bar at the top of the keyboard. So instead of the function keys that we see now on our current MacBook Pros, these function keys are going to be replaced by an OLED touch bar that is going to probably display them, so you should be able to just tap the bar to get to those function keys. And it also could have some additional software features such as Siri control or notifications, or possibly even third-party app developers could access it. We don't know how exactly Apple's going to implement it, but most likely it's going to be a really cool functional element of the MacBook Pro. On the software side of things, we should see the announcement of the public release date of iOS 10 and macOS Sierra, as well as watchOS 3 and tvOS. Apple should be seating the GM or Golden Master candidates of these software versions to beta testers after the event, directly after the event, and then they should be released to the public most likely a week after the event. Usually Apple releases their software to the public on Wednesdays, so most likely we'll see it on September 13th, I would expect. So, that was a lot to cover. So, as you can tell, this is probably going to be a big event. There's a lot of products that Apple should be updating, and they're all bundled into this fun September 7th event that I am certainly looking forward to. I hope you guys are as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching it and being supporters of the channel. I hope you guys have found this information helpful. If you did, please be sure to leave me a big thumbs up, and also please comment and let me know what you think of these upcoming Apple announcements. Leave your own thoughts on what you think is going to happen at this September 7th Apple event and what you're most excited about. If you're not already, please be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future geeky content. God bless. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.